Hi and welcome to Swedish Plantguys. In this video we will show you the easiest way of propagating your Scindapsus Pictus, and that is no matter what type of variety you have. Now if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, that really helps this channel a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do, and hit the bell as well so you get a notification every time we put up something new. Like us on Facebook and Instagram to get sneak previews on upcoming videos and sometimes just a little bit more. So starting off, first of all, you need a couple of things to make your cutting or make your propagation of your Scindapsus. Of course, you need a fully grown Scindapsus. If you have a Scindapsus that looks like this, it's starting to get too leggy. Making cuttings out of this and propagating is actually good for the mother plant as well. It will make your mother plant fuller and make it thrive even more when you make those cuts. So you need a plant. You will need something to put your cuttings in, like a glass. You need water, of course. And you need something to make your cut with. Now you could use a pruning shearer or just a cutting scissor like this one. Just make sure that it's clean so that you don't take any fungus or bacterial and transfer that to the plant. So the first thing you should do is to select what vine you want to make your cuttings from. And I have a very long vine here. Now this Scindapsus here has been standing in a quite dark place, which means that it has really long internodes and it's quite leggy. It's not that full. If I had been placing this in a more lighted area, it would be bigger leaves and smaller internodes. But I want to try and make this even fuller, so I'm going to make some cuttings out of this and then propagate it. So the first thing we will do is that we will choose this vine here, this long vine, and make a couple of cuttings from this one. Now when you cut the vine, you have to make the cut in between two internodes. Now what is an internode? Well, an internode is in between two leaves. Now, this is a node that a leaf is coming out from, and this is the internode in between two leaves or two nodes. So when we make this cut, and I'll make the cut even further down here, I'll just make the cut in between two leaves like this. Now you don't have to do anything else with the mother plant, just leave it like that, and this will actually trigger that plant to grow even more and to become fuller. Now we have this long vine here, and this vine is actually going to give us multiple cuttings that we later on can create a new plant with. Now the first thing you should do is that you lay it down flat on a table, and I always try to start from the back here. Now this is where I made the cut from the mother plant, so this is what we call the back of the vine. Now what we need for every cutting is one node and one leaf. So the first leaf here, I don't actually want the leaf, I only want the node. And this node is going to go into the water. This is where the roots will start to form and grow. And if you can see here, you also have small air roots coming out of this. You do not have to have air roots for this to work, but it actually helps. It makes it even easier. So the first thing we will do is that we will use the first node is going into water. That means I will not be needing the leaf. Cut away the leaf. I don't need all of this internode here. I only need the node. So now we have one node here, and we need one leaf. So I just make another cut just above that leaf. Now we have the first cutting here. We have one node, and this is going to go into the water, and one leaf. This is all we need. But we can actually create multiple cuttings from this long vine. So I'll just make a couple of them and see how many we can provide from this vine. Now it could look like this, because here we have a node that really doesn't have a leaf on it. It could have been growing so fiercely that this node never actually got to send out a leaf. And this is quite often with the Scindapsus Pictus. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm actually going to use not this node here, but this node instead, and this leaf. So this small piece here, I'm not going to use at all. I'll just cut away completely. Now I still have one node and one leaf, so I'll just continue. Now we're coming up to the if we call it the back before, and then we have the front here of the vine. The latest shoots here, the newest leaves here. And same thing applies. You need one node and one leaf. And this leaf, I think, is big enough to be able to sustain this. So I'll just make the cut as I've made before. Take away that leaf, use that node. Now let's see how many cuttings we have. So from that vine, we actually got 7 cuttings. Now I'll just take all of these cuttings and make sure that I can put them in the same glass together like this. Just add some water and make sure that all of these nodes without leaves are underwater. Now we can see that all of the nodes are underwater, like that. Now what will happen here is that I will take this glass and you should put it somewhere where it gets a lot of light, but not direct sunlight. If direct sunlight hits this glass, it will become quite warm, and you could get some algae forming in this water, which will inhibit the roots forming. So put it somewhere where it's light, but no direct sunlight. And just leave it like this. Now, the more you exchange this water, the better. So if you can exchange it every day, then do that. But it's not a problem if you forget and maybe only exchange it twice a week or once a week. But the more you do it, the higher are your chances of getting nice roots from those nodes that are in the water. So just keep on exchanging the water, and it will take a couple of weeks, maybe 3 up to 4 weeks before you see that new roots are starting to form from that node. Now, you just keep on doing this, exchanging the water until you have roots that are at least 5 centimeters long. Around 2 inches or longer. When you have roots that have that length, then it's time to repot this. Then you can take all of these cuttings and pot them in the same pot. What that will mean that you will have a lot of starters for your new plant. And when you plant it, make sure to use a soil that is very airy, not hard and compact. I recommend you to use just normal potting soil that you can get a hold of anywhere, and mix that up with about 30 to 40% of perlite or pumice, whatever you can get a hold of. So just mix standard planting soil with 30% in volume of perlite or pumice. This will make it very, very airy, and it will also help to keep the moisture around the roots, but not too much water, because we want the excess water to run out. So make sure that the pot you have has drainage holes. Now, when you start to water your cuttings, make sure to keep that soil a little bit moist at all times. It should not dry out, not at least for a couple of months. But after about 6 months, then you can take your new Scindapsus Pictus plant and repot it in whatever type of soil you want to use. But I would recommend a standard planting soil that you mix up with just a little bit less perlite and pumice than you had with the cuttings. So when this becomes a fully mature plant, then you cut down on the perlite and the pumice. So maybe just adding 20 to 30% of perlite or pumice instead in your mixture. And this will work 9 times out of 10. It's very, very easy. And also don't forget to prune your Scindapsus. It actually wants it, needs it, and it will thrive even better by you making those cuts. And why throw away a vine that you can use to produce new plants? Now, I hope you've liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up. That really helps this channel a lot. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do hit the bell so you get a notification every time we put up something new. And also like us on Facebook and Instagram, where you can get sneak previews of upcoming videos and sometimes a little bit more. Now until next time, hej då!